Welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
And I'm Scott Palmer.
Scott is our guest for today. First time on the show. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you, bud.
Good to have you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our podcast. We're a movie review podcast, and what we like to do is we rant about movies and we drink while we do it. And today we've chosen Abita's Purple Haze.
That's right.
A raspberry lager.
Have you had this before?
I think I have a long while back I've had this movie.
I think I had something else by this brewery, but I have not had this.
Yeah, we've had actually a couple of Abita beers on the podcast before, but we've never had the Purple Haze. It's a pretty popular one, but I think I've only had it once.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4.2%, so
We'll see.
not too bad.
Not too bad.
So on this episode, we're gonna be discussing all the films and shows we've been watching since our last episode, and then we'll review Get Out. And I'm really excited to talk about that one. But before we do that, let's give this a little beer taste, huh?
Let's get a little sip going out of this bad boy.
All right. I got mine poured in a little glass here.
Yeah, I'm all out of glasses, unfortunately. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
It's tasty.
Sorry, it's not colder, Scott.
Oh, it's fine. The Bare Insanity on the label is a nice touch.
Yeah. Some solid art, some nice flavor,
Nice.
quality bottles.
It hits all the check marks,
It does.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have you guys been watching lately?
Well, we both went and saw, I guess we can start with Cure for Wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can kind of talk about that story. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, well, we were gonna go see it.
Well,
for
I guess.
Yeah, you start.
Yeah, I guess I'll say that we were gonna do a double review for this episode, but I got real busy with work, and I just wasn't able to catch it. I tried probably 8 different times, and then I had to work late or something.
And then they pulled it, right? They pulled it from the theater.
And then they pulled it, and it's gone. Probably because it wasn't making any money.
Yeah, it made jack squat.
Yeah, but these guys were able to catch it before me, so you guys can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, it was. I'll start off by saying, opening scene, beautiful. I was like, score's kicking in. I was like, you know what? Fuck all the haters. I'm loving this thing.
Right.
40 minutes in, ooh, loving this thing, man. This thing's singing. I'm loving it. And then it's a 2.5 hour long movie, and by the end, I felt like I was like, oh yeah, I know what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, the last 40 minutes of the movie, I was pretty much done with it.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, there was it was a combination of a lot of things. I think too many things.
Yeah, a little too scatterbrained.
It's too scatterbrained. But there was the positives were that there were really awesome establishing shots or really awesome landscapes and things.
Good cinematography.
Really good cinematography with that stuff. But on the flip side of that, as I know you were talking about this, Zach, there was the shots either went on for too long or there were too many shots that just padded the running time.
Yeah,
pretty much.
it felt like they were just like, well, we can't cut this out of the movie. Like, there's this scene where he's driving. There's this huge spiral up this mountain. This really long driving scene up. He's there for a little while, and they drive back down. And he sees a girl standing on the top of this tall wall. And at first you're like, ooh, this is cool. And it's playing this awesome score, and you're like, ooh, this is kind of creepy imagery. I'm liking this. Mm-hmm. And he goes around the circle, and you're like, ooh, this is creepy. And then he goes around the circle again, and you're like, okay. And then he keeps going around, and they keep showing it, and you're like, all right, yeah, we get it, bud. It's just,
we get it.
They're just
just
fucking milking it for all it's worth. Oh. And I felt like that movie could have been under 2 hours easy. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like, while there is a better movie in the edit of that, a better movie could be made with what exists, it starts off very specific and becomes very generic by the end.
Yeah. It gets vague and then becomes super generic.
Yeah,
By
like
the
you
end.
can
That's a
tell it's
bummer.
the director of Pirates of the Caribbean by the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer.
For sure.
'Cause
That
when
is
it
a bummer.
starts, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, you got that Black
Right.
Pearl resolution kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
You know, all you're missing is a chest full of haunted gold coins.
But yeah.
It looks. I mean, from the trailers, it looks really well shot.
Oh yeah, it looks great. I thought it looked awesome. And those opening
Yeah.
shots, it just starts and it's like foggy green, like low angle shots of all these buildings, and it's like slowly dollying, and it's totally like pulling from like Rosemary's Baby score, you know, and it's like, ooh,
Nice.
I'm liking this, settling in nice, you know, and that's the coolest part.
Yeah, I don't even remember how the score went, honestly. Right
Yeah,
now.
the score did the same thing as the movie. It started off specific and like with a purpose, and then by the end, like it had this cool chimey like ooh ah, you know, like getting all creepy, and then by the end it was just like super big and orchestral and just sounded like it was from whatever movie came out. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't anything specific.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Sounds like just a big mixture of different ideas and direction.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, I think.
Yeah,
Also,
probably.
Dane DeHaan plays like an up and coming like stockbroker guy, and I didn't buy it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
him like chewing Nicorette on the train at the beginning, like, "Come on, make the sale. Stop being a pussy." Like hanging up the phone. Like, it's just like I don't know if I'm buying.
Oh yeah,
Dane
no,
DeHaan.
I'm not. Yeah, that was the first thing that bothered me was that I just did not buy his character.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, basically the setup he goes to, you know, for the plot of the movie is, you know, he goes on this business excursion to get this guy from the company back who apparently went crazy.
Yeah, it's at this spa in
the
Switzerland.
spa in the mountains of Switzerland. And he goes back,
Right.
and the people who send him there are, you know, they're older, more experienced of these stockbroker types, and the whole deal with him being there is like, oh, he's the youngest person here. Like everyone else is like much older, pretty much. And I get that. Yeah, they wanted to make a point about his youth, but he just seemed like 10 years too young to be in that like position
He does
or
seem
that
young.
job.
Yeah.
It just didn't like. I'm like, really? Like, you think I could? I'm not buying this. I don't know. It was
a
very,
leap. It was a definite
Yeah,
leap.
yeah. That for me. It wasn't so much the eels and whether or not the eels were hallucinations. It was his age that was the deal breaker. You know, the believability of that. That was my. That was where I could not. Go into the suspension of disbelief anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Could not buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
Kinda
unfortunate
dodged a
because
bullet there,
Dane
Wes.
DeHaan's actually a really good actor,
Yeah,
You know?
totally. Like I feel like
which
can't recall
I like
what
Dane
I've seen him in,
DeHaan.
but yeah. I feel like he's a good boy, but he was and honestly once
Yeah.
he gets wrapped up in the mystery more and he's there, it's like his performance gets better. It's just that beginning where he's just like, "Look, I'm a New York stockbroker," you know. It's just like I don't know about this, but
yeah.
I'm trying to make a
Yeah.
name for myself.
yeah. He's just being like the asshole American in Switzerland, being like, "Come on, let me get a cab." Like, obviously, it's not that outrageous, but
yeah. Oh well, I'm still curious to check it out. I'll probably will eventually.
it's a rental for sure. It's a boring Sunday rental.
Yeah. I mean, again, the main drawback is that it's 40 minutes too long.
It's
At least
definitely
40 minutes too long. It's just, especially with how like it eventually becomes generic by the end. It's like, oh, this is just wasting my time. You know, it was like if you're gonna
Wrap
go
this thing up, Gore.
Yeah,
Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Come
push
on.
that, if you're gonna go past the 2-hour time length, it's got to be something I haven't seen before, not devolve into this just generic mess at the end of the movie. I don't know. This is my thought.
Yeah.
Sure. What about you, Wes?
So today I
Watch
actually
it.
watched a new flick on Netflix called "I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore."
Oh, nice.
Have you guys heard about
I've been
this
thinking
movie?
about checking that out.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Didn't it won some
Yeah.
big prize at Sundance, right?
Yeah, it won. I think I don't remember the award, but it got a lot of press at Sundance, and Netflix picked it up, and it's streaming on Netflix now.
Isn't it directed by the actor from Blue Ruin and Green Room?
Yes, Macon Blair is his
that
name.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he directed. It's his first film that he's directed and written, and it stars Elijah Wood. Actually,
Nice.
he's like the co-star, and basically it's about this woman who gets burglarized, and she calls the cops, and they're not really helpful at all. Like, and she starts to pick up these clues, and she's like, well, I'm going to figure this out myself. And she gets herself in the situation where she's involved with like these really dangerous people, and it gets crazy and way out of hand. Like, if she were to ever stop and like tell someone why she's doing this thing, people would think she's crazy. So it gets like really violent, and it's also really funny. I really enjoyed it though. It's really worth checking out.
Good watch.
Elijah Wood. Yeah, it's a good watch. Elijah Wood plays like this her obnoxious neighbor. He's like this really weird guy that she ends up using his help, and he like throws ninja stars, and like he's this this weird eccentric character, but it's really good. I think it's a really good first time debut, you know. I wouldn't say that it's like amazing. It's not going to make like my top 10 or anything, but I would love to see what Macon Blair does next, you know.
Yeah. It's cool that he directed a movie. Like, I had no idea until it existed already, you know.
Yeah. Totally worth checking out though. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What else you guys been checking out?
What about you, Scott? You got one?
Let's see. So, I had a theatrical experience. What was it, a couple weekends ago, I think now. So the distribution company Grindhouse Releasing, they put out Blu-rays of The Beyond, Cannibal Holocaust, An American Hippie in Israel, all these like all weird obscure cult movies, or whatever. The label's run by Bob Murawski. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the editor he's Sam Raimi's editor basically. So he edited all the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, nice.
Did Army of Darkness. I think he did The Hurt Locker and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy, right? And then
I wouldn't have guessed that.
He started the label. Yeah, he started the label with Sage Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's son, who passed away. I think 2011, something like that. 2012.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
2013, somewhere around there. Anyway, now he runs the label, and he compiled a marathon of trailers called Trailerpocalypse, and it's for the past couple years. It's just been like doing like little, a couple nights in this city, couple nights in this city, and every time that they put out a movie or whatever, it's ended up playing at the Music Box. And so I went the last couple of years. I went and saw Cannibal Holocaust and Cat in the Brain, and maybe probably another film or two there. But I've been waiting for Trailerpocalypse to finally come to Chicago just to check it out, because I like everything else that the labels put out. And so I finally went to check it out. Of course, it was only at midnight, showing on Friday and Saturday. I think one of the last weekends. But while so basically they said it was an hour and a half of trailers. Turned out to be 2 hours. So at the end we were like, when is this gonna end? Or this is supposed to be over already. Anyway, I made a note of every single movie that played, every single trailer that played in this Trailerpocalypse, and a few of them, sometimes they put in like some old style like Grindhouse PSAs or commercials or little things like that, which kind of help pad the film a little bit. But basically there were about 56 little trailers shoved into this 2 hour span. So you had different things like you had some Herschel Gordon Lewis movies that you saw trailers for. You had what was it called? They showed a few basic ones like The Exorcist and Jaws, but then they would go from like basically the whole how the Trailerpocalypse played out. It would switch from genre. It would spend a little bit of time in one genre. Like it started off with animal attacks, and then it went like, so you got Jaws, and then you got Orca, and then you got another shark movie, and then you got and then it just went off the deep rail into like other movies. But every once in a while you would get like a marathon of like let's see, The Exorcist, Love Exorcist, Mark of the Devil, The Devil's Wedding Night, The Devil's Reign, Race with the Devil, Exorcism, Mark of the Devil Part 2, Exorcist 2, The Heretic. That was like. That was the order for one chunk of it. But then they also played
funny.
things like Disco Godfather, which I could not stop laughing during that.
I got that blue. I've yet to watch it yet, though.
Yeah, Disco Godfather.
Sounds amazing.
They did.
Yeah, Rudy Ray Moore.
They did Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. Psycho from Texas. They did The Room of Chains, followed by Women in Chains.
The Room of Chains. Some of these wasn't there one called like there was some really funny title with blood in it that you told me the other day.
Blood Freak.
Yeah,
Blood Freak. This guy goes around in like
that's
a cute,
hilarious.
It's a full movie called Blood Freak.
yeah, the guy goes around in like a rubber chicken head mask, killing people, and I guess he's the Blood Freak for some reason. Blood Freak was... Oh, yeah. Before Blood Freak, we had Night of the Bloody Apes. After Blood Freak, we had Scream Bloody Murder. And then we went into... then there'd be, like, random trailers like for movies like Super Chick or Teenage Tramp or Pornography in Denmark, which was completely in Danish for that trailer. You had... But at the same time, you had little, PSAs or commercials for, like, Claricel. Or there was like a barbecue commercial at one point, or there was like a PSA to like keep
That's funny.
TV free, save free TV, things like that. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. You also had like just ridiculous ones like Hillbillies in a Haunted House, and then it, like
I can literally. I mean, this sounds amazing, but the names are the best part. Like just reading the list of names is awesome.
Yeah, the names are amazing.
Yeah. The only Grindhouse releasing title that they had, actually, I expected all the movies. I thought all the trailers for their movies were going to be in. They only put in one movie, and it was Gone with the Pope. That was the only one that got of their movies that they put in this compilation.
I still haven't seen Gone.
Oh man,
I gotta revisit it. So we should make that arrange that. Oh, one of my favorites was Werewolves on Wheels. It was about a werewolf motorcycle gang.
Yeah, I remember in
That's
high
amazing.
school seeing that movie. It came, I think Dark Sky put it out on DVD or something.
Really?
Yeah, and I
Wow.
remember seeing it at the store Deep Discount and like almost buying it a couple times when I was like a freshman in high school and being like, nah. Werewolves on Wheels sounds pretty good.
There also was they had
on wheels.
They had the movie Thriller, A Cruel Picture, but it was under the title Hooker's Revenge. And I've always meant to check that movie out because it's like a Swedish like female revenge movie. It was like one of the first like big female revenge movies, especially to come out of Europe or something like that. But yeah, I know Tarantino likes that movie a lot for obvious reasons. But yeah, it was a really good time, and just by the end of it, like our brains were like melting. The final,
it's a lot of schlocky trailers to watch.
The last
seriously.
trailer was a work of art, and I've since rewatched it on YouTube a couple times. But it was a trailer for a double feature called
you showed me this.
Blood Splattered Bride with I Dismember Mama, and it was it's an amazing trailer because it's one of the. My favorite trailers are the trailers that they filmed stuff specifically for that trailer. Like the trailer is its own thing.
Right.
Like the trailer for Alien where the camera goes up to the egg that's clearly not the egg from the movie. That kind of thing. This was like somebody like interviewing people who had just seen the movie, and people were like, "Oh, some guy went crazy in the theater. How did you like the picture?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so scary." Like people with like New Jersey accents and stuff like that.
There was that guy who kept going, "Oh yeah," and just saying,
yeah.
all the time.
It was hilarious.
It was fun though. Check it out on the YouTubes if you get the chance.
And yes, and I haven't. For anyone curious, if this thing comes to town, because they're not. They're not. They said they're not releasing this compilation. It's on 35 millimeter too, the whole thing.
Oh,
so that was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's plenty more titles that I have not mentioned.
Yeah, seriously.
It sounds like a overload of just an overload of emotion there.
Yeah, good times.
What you got,
What
Zachy?
do you got there, Wes? What do I got, huh? What do I got? I watched Lair of the White Worm, the Ken Russell movie.
Lair or Lair?
Lair, like Lair.
Lair. Okay.
Yeah. Which was a lot of fun. I was a very big fan of. I feel like every time I watch a Ken Russell movie, I go, shit, why haven't I seen fucking all this guy's movies? Like, because he makes very much like art house films, but they're super entertaining. And I know that he's like said that like he aims to make movies that are entertaining. And Lair of the White Worm is basically about some guy digging in this rural town and digs up like a weird skull to like a giant snake basically, and everyone's like, oh, I wonder what that is, huh? It's like clearly the white worm's giant skull, you know. And there's this legend in the town from like back in the day where this guy like slayed the worm and all this stuff, and like the family is still there, and Hugh Grant is the heir to the...
Hugh Grant's in it?
Or not the heir, but Hugh Grant's in it.
Yeah.
And I think...
I think that's probably why I haven't seen the movie, honestly. Because I've heard about it for a long time.
What's his name? Doctor Who? The Doctor Who guy? Peter Capaldi? Is that his name? He's in it, too. He's the archaeologist guy. But, yeah, actually, I was very worried about the Hugh Grant factor, but I feel like he was actually cast very well, because he plays just, like, kind of like a snooty posh guy who, like, has the whole thing figured out, who, like, lives in a mansion, you know? It's like, it's not like they're making him some,
good
like,
role
relatable
for Hugh Grant.
guy that, like... Yeah, it's a good role for him. But, it's basically that just, people are, like, getting, infected by these... It's kind of like vampires, but she's, like, a snake woman, and, like... It's real weird. People have snake teeth. There's a giant worm. There's a really funny but amazing and fitting song in it. And just a lot of fun. Just a nice, fun movie about a giant white worm.
With really crazy visuals.
Yeah, totally.
So I've only seen, of Ken Russell's stuff, I've seen Altered States, The Devils, and Crimes of Passion. Yeah. I think that's it. And what I've seen of Lair of the White Worm now that I've gotten past the Hugh Grant aspect, from what I've seen online, like, it looks incredible. There's some really cool, like, weird, almost like their like religious iconography for like this weird like snake religion, you know. So there's all these like crosses with snakes on them, but they're like weirdly video. Like, I don't know exactly what they did. Maybe it's just really early video, but It's really cool, and they make these like strange tableaus with like this like really dated looking like fire pattern. It almost looks like visual like synthesizer stuff. It was really cool. I liked it a lot. Nice.
It just got put out on Vestron on Blu-ray, and I'm just like itching for that Russell, you know. So I just snatched her up.
There you go. I gotta check that out. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's nothing incredible or like that has like a ton of weight to it, but it's just like a nice fun movie.
Cool.
There you go. Nice, man.
What you got there, Wes?
So this weekend I was able to catch Logan.
Nice.
Yeah. This movie is like totally worth the hype, I think. It's pretty awesome. I loved it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what I like about it the most is that it's like a small scale Western, you know? And I think this is like the type of movie that is needed for the X-Men franchise right now, you know, because you had X-Men Apocalypse, which was just
this is the ninth one,
kind of
right?
awful.
Of the X-Men?
Of the X-Men movies, right?
I don't know.
Or 8th or 9th or something like that.
I'm not sure how many. Oh, let's see. Let's count them out.
That's part of their marketing
X-Men
ploys
1,
to forget how many there are.
First Class, Days of Future Past, Wolverine,
Apocalypse,
X-Men Origins, Wolverine, The Wolverine. Yeah. This is definitely the third Wolverine movie. So yeah 8. That's 8.
Do you count Deadpool? Is that part of it? I was looking online and for some reason they shoved that in there on Wikipedia as like part of it. And I'm like, is it? No.
It does exist in the X-Men universe, but I don't know if it's considered an X-Men movie. But
okay.
it's Oh, it's really good. It's kind of like I said, a small scale Western, kind of in the not so distant future where mutants have just been wiped out, and the only ones left are Logan, who's just like an old man. His powers don't really work too well, and he's just fed up with life because based on the other movies, he's lived since like the 1800s. You know, he's pretty much immortal. And Patrick Stewart plays Professor Xavier, who's really old and dying, and as you guys probably know, he has telepathic powers, but he has a brain disease, and it's like that's not a good combo, you know, when you have
totally.
mental powers and you're aging and your brain's failing. So that's already interesting, but it's a really good. It's gonna be his last movie, Hugh Jackman's last movie, and it's a really good send off, I think, for the character and for it's like the end of the franchise too, the original X-Men franchise, and they just did it in the best possible way. It's really violent, like crazy violent and bloody, but it's also really funny, really heartwarming, and it's fantastic. So you guys definitely need to go check it out as soon as you can. I don't know, are you guys fans of X-Men or Wolverine?
Yeah, I feel like the last movie was very disappointing. Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's probably the worst one.
Yeah,
aside
but
from
I still
X3.
like the character. And I never saw the Wolverine, but I also didn't care for X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine a lot. So
I'll clarify. X-Men Origins Wolverine is the worst movie. It's the worst one. It's so fucking awful.
Remember that early cut that leaked? That was like unfinished.
Like the CGI was terrible.
Yeah.
I just heard about. Sorry, let me back up. I've only seen the first 2 X-Men movies. I'm not a huge comic book connoisseur. So I just never dived into it, and I just was never really big into X-Men in the first place. Go ahead and crucify me, whatever. But
no, that's fine.
But I had a roommate in college who loved Hugh Jackman in general, but also as Wolverine especially. And when the first the Wolverine Origins movie came out, and he demanded his money back from the movie theater. I think he got it back if I remember. It's
pretty awful.
And I just remember him being so vocally angry about how bad the CGI was in it, and just everything was he just told me was terrible, and I heard that across the board from pretty much everyone. So that's why I was super surprised that they did another Wolverine movie.
They had to redeem them.
Yeah, they had to redeem it because I heard that one was great. The Wolverine.
The second one,
it's
the Wolverine. It's okay. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because it's like a samurai type movie. It takes place in Japan.
Okay.
But it's okay. It is the same director. Well, I wouldn't even think
as this
that.
One, right?
Same direct as Logan. Yes. James Mangold. And he just redeems himself from the Wolverine too. Like it's just not even in comparison of the same type of movie. I think Logan
it seems
might. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it seems like it had a little more space to like be its own kind of movie with this one, as opposed to the others. You know.
Yeah, it's totally. It can be its own standalone, but it also has a lot of connection to everything that's happened in X-Men history. You know.
Oh,
there's
for
a lot.
Sure.
There's some little callbacks and stuff, and if you've seen the movies, you'll get them. But if you don't have to, But yeah, I think Logan might be probably in my top 3, definitely, of my top favorite comic book movies.
Nice.
Yeah, it's.
I know it's
really good.
It's playing like at the Logan at like the discount theater here, which usually plays second run movies, but it's playing.
Go see Logan at the Logan.
Yeah, Logan at the Logan.
The only thing I could do better.
I didn't even realize that when I said it.
If they should do a double feature with Logan's Run.
Yeah, Logan's Run and Logan at the Logan.
Little Logan Fest.
Doesn't make any.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what would you give it?
Really,
What's your
what would I give it?
rating?
What kind of rating?
Yeah.
Ooh, man. I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh, 4.5.
This is out of 5.
Nice.
This is out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay. Is that the scale you guys usually stick to?
Yeah, that's the scale. It's pretty good. I will, I think anyone can enjoy it, but I especially like it because I'm a fan of Wolverine. I'm a fan of. I kind of grew up with the X-Men movies, and based on what we saw from Apocalypse, this is just exactly what I want and so much better. So, and like Zach, you and I talk about all the time, smaller scale is better. You don't need world-ending events, and that's what was annoying about Apocalypse, because it was another generic world-ending movie.
Well,
Everyone's gonna die unless we do something about it. It's like, no, like, you can make movies that, like, aren't that big. Like, it doesn't need to be that big. Doesn't need to cost like $200 million. Like,
Another thing
I had
too.
A friend who's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I had a friend who has a real. No worries. I had a friend who was a really big X-Men fan, and he was saying that Apocalypse was the best of the bad X-Men movies.
that's how you know he's.
Yeah,
an
I would
fan.
agree
It's
with
like,
that.
It was the best.
I would
of the
agree with
bad
that.
ones.
No.
I can totally see that.
The best in that, he was saying, the best in that it was the most fun that you could, like, you laugh at it, basically.
Yeah.
From that aspect, so it was entertaining from that aspect. But is it good? No. That was basically how he summarized it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
That's a good comparison. Yeah. Another one of my favorite parts of Logan is it had probably some of the best performances I've ever seen in any other comic book movie.
Nice.
Like, the little girl that's in it, she's played by Daphne Cain, her name is amazing. Like, what they had her do, what they made her go through in this movie is insane. And I can't believe that they let a little girl do all this stuff. And they ask so much of her, and she just, like, succeeds on every level. I think she's going to be a huge star after this.
Nice.
But,
has she done anything else, or was this her first
movie?
role?
First movie she ever did. She's amazing. And
yeah.
probably one of Hugh Jackman's probably one of his best roles in his whole career, I think. One of his best.
Nice.
Yeah, it's real good.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this black and white cut?
For Logan?
Yeah, apparently James Mangold said he's working on a black and white cut or something.
It's not called the Chrome Edition.
Yeah, no,
Black and Chrome
what's
edition.
the adamantium edition? Is that what it's called? Right now?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Black and adamantium.
That's really funny.
That's crazy. No, I didn't hear about that. I don't see why you'd need to, but all right.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But yeah, that's Logan. Check it out.
Nice. For sure. What you got there, Scotty?
What?
You got another movie?
Oh, I had rewatched The Godfather relatively recently. Before we saw Get Out, I rewatched The Godfather.
Nice.
For the first time in, like, I don't know, 10 years at least. 10.
Oh, yeah?
Probably longer. I saw it originally when I was a kid. So I barely remembered any of it. But it all just kind of like, oh, yeah, I remember this. It's all kind of coming together. Mm-hmm. Of course it's good. I'm not going to say anything that hasn't been said before about it.
So you know what? Doesn't hold up. It's a piece of shit. Godfather sucks.
You know what? Fuck The Godfather.
Yeah, the Disco Godfather beats The Godfather.
Yeah, Disco Godfather's way better than Godfather. Come on.
That's funny.
Nice,
I haven't seen The Godfather since I was a kid either. And it's crazy. I've never seen the second one either. And everyone's like, that's the best one.
Oh,
it's just something I've never gotten to. Yeah.
I like the first one, I'd say, more personally. But I understand
I've never seen the third one. And so I'm planning to watch the second one soon, because I got the Blue trilogy a little bit while ago. But I've always heard forever how bad Godfather 3 is, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too.
To watch Godfather 3, just so I can get all those jokes.
Yeah. It's just always hard, like, to sit down and be like, all right, Godfather 3 sucks. Like, let me pop on this 3-hour-long film that everyone says is terrible.
Let's watch this. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like between between 4 and 9 minutes shorter than the original. So on the bright side, it is the shortest of the Godfather movies.
Not that much, but the shortest.
It's funny. What's next on your list, Zach?
Let's see. I watched Raising Cain, the Brian De Palma movie with I think Scott watched it.
I did as well. I watched both cuts.
Oh, nice.
Did you watch both
I did not
cuts?
watch both cuts.
Which cut did you watch?
I watched theatrical.
Okay.
As per your recommendation. But yeah, Arrow Video just put out a new version in the UK. We had both ordered it.
Yeah, Scream Factory put it out in the US.
Oh, nice.
Arrow opted to do they must have collaborated to some degree because they have, for the most part, both releases have the same special features. The Arrow Video version has like a different and shorter interview with John Lithgow, and it's got an interview with the composer. It's got a booklet. It's got an interview with, I think, the editor or something. And then other than that, it has everything. The Scream Factory doesn't have anything different outside of a different and almost twice as long interview with John Lithgow. And it's got a surround track. But other than that, like, the differences kind of end there. The director's cut, it's not really a director's cut. It's a director's approved like reassembly
because I guess
something?
like
somebody else
the
made
whole movie
yeah.
got shuffled, right?
Yeah, they were
like
constantly
they were forced. Do you know about the movie, Wes?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay,
it's John Lithgow like split personality movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian De Palma.
Sounds amazing.
Brian De Palma, yeah,
early 90s, right?
Yeah, 92. Yeah. And yeah, it's very like disorienting. I mean, if you've seen enough like De Palma, it's like very much in the kind of same vein as like Dressed to Kill a little bit. But it's very it's very disorienting and jumping around. You're not really quite sure what is real, but like the timeline jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
So they, for whatever reason, even into shooting it, I guess they kept changing their minds as to what the the structure of the movie was going to be. So the one that got released theatrically is very jumbled. And
there's like flashbacks within flashbacks and like dream sequences and flashbacks that cut for it's just like super crazy.
Is this person dead? Are they alive? What's going on? You know? And then it all makes sense by the end of the movie, basically.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I guess when they made the movie,
it's the most important.
Yeah, when they made the movie, Brian De Palma was saying like the beginning of the movie was the most frustrating part of it for some reason. I'm like in just terms of the execution and getting it out there. So someone I can't remember his name, but he found like a second draft script or screenplay or something or another. It was an earlier structure of what the movie was going to be, and so they took that and that draft was called Father's Day too. Also, by the way, and he basically did that, reassembled the movie into that original structure. So it works better. It's a lot easier to follow, for one thing. And then I guess Brian De Palma approved of it and it said that it was preferred version of the film. So Scream Factory made that, and then they sub-licensed it to Arrow, I guess. So that's why the director's cut is only limited on the Arrow release, but it's not limited on the Scream Factory release. So that's the main difference between those two sets.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, the movie is good.
I was a little nervous. Like I like me some De Palma, but split personality. I feel like even though it's like it would be one that was earlier on, and it's not necessarily its fault that's tired. It's still like I feel like it's kind of a tired thing.
Yeah.
So like going back and watching it, like maybe it's not the movie's fault, but like maybe I'm not going to enjoy it as much because of what's happened with movies like that since. But it was good, and John Lithgow's good, and honestly, it's just like Brian De Palma's just got those set pieces down. He fucking knows how to show those scenes from like four perspectives, and it's like everyone's rushing and everything's in slow motion, and like I love that he always untimes like the fluorescence and the slow motion, so they're like flashing and like total like Brian De Palma like signature on some of the stuff that's just like
that's awesome.
What was the tagline for the movie? Oh yeah, the tagline was demented, deranged, deceptive De Palma.
It's outrageous.
That was the
So Zach, which version did you watch?
Yeah, the marketing thing.
I watched the theatrical just
Okay.
to I was tempted to watch the directors, but I figured there's more value in the rewatch if I watch the theatrical first and then watch the director's cut after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I usually go in the order that something is released in. So like if there was already like a preconceived director's cut that the studios hacked down to the theatrical, then I'll usually watch the what technically came first. But in this instance, the directors didn't come out until now. So yeah, it's more of a more interesting to see. I agree. It's because I've seen both cuts. It's more interesting, I think, to see after seeing the theatrical cut. It's technically a little better, but I'd say both cuts are about on the same scale. It's not like there's new footage. It's just
it's just a reassembly.
Rearranged,
Reassembled.
But it's interesting. Yeah.
It seems like it'd be an interesting thing to watch for like
an editing standpoint.
Yeah, editing exercise.
Sure. Might pick it up on the Scream Factory. That sounds cool.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of fun. Like it's just those set pieces. There's like the set piece in the forest and the one at the hotel at the end, where it's just like going back and showing you the same thing from a new perspective, and they're like intermixing the shots from before, and it's just like he's so good at doing that. You know?
That sundial.
Yeah.
The sundial. It's like he could make a movie that has like 4 scenes, and it would be amazing. Because each scene's like 30 minutes long, and like for a shot from every angle possible. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
And John Lithgow is, John Lithgow. I think the movie works as well as it does just because you have John Lithgow being crazy.
Yeah.
If you had somebody else in the movie, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work as well doing like multiple personality kind of thing. But with John Lithgow, he's just like, I think this is his third. That was his third time working with De Palma.
Yeah, because he was in Blowout.
Blowout. Sorry, Blowout,
Blowout.
and I think it's Sisters.
He was in Sisters?
I think. I haven't seen Sisters.
I feel like he's in something else.
It's one of his earlier movies he's in. I thought it was Sisters. Maybe it's not. Or maybe it's Obsession. Sorry, it's Obsession.
Yeah, he's totally in Obsession. Okay.
Nice. That's awesome.
Checking out.
I will check that out. So I've been on a little Japanese kick, Japanese film kick.
Nice.
Ever since I watched Silence. Yeah, it kind of got me. Well, I talked about some last episode, but there's one I bought recently because I'd seen it before, but I didn't quite remember it. But I decided to just pick it up, and that was 13 Assassins.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, you guys seen this movie?
Yeah.
Takashi Miike. I didn't remember anything about it, which was great because it felt like I was watching it for the first time, and
totally.
It's badass. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. I like, it's really rare to find like a newer, more modern samurai movie, and one that's really like sticks to the ideals of like some of the older films, like
totally.
Kind of like Seven Samurai and all that, but in modern filmmaking, and it was amazing. That final battle scene is so good.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I remember that final battle scene just being pretty cherry, just being like, oof.
Yeah,
it's
real good
out there.
Yeah, super bloody and just really good action. And like a slow build up to a very good climax. Yeah, so if you ever feel like watching some badass samurai action, 13 Assassins is a good movie.
When did that come out? It's like 2009?
Yeah, something like that.
2010.
2010.
Yep.
All right, cool. That's close.
Yeah.
Did you get your Kurosawa package from Criterion yet, bud?
So here's the thing. I think it got lost in the mail.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm really pissed about it because it shows that it was delivered. It shows it was left in a locker, which is where usually big packages at my mailbox go. They're like, they give you a key and you go to the big box, and no key. Never got a key. It was supposed to be delivered on Saturday, and I don't know where it is. So
Man.
this is kind of a side tangent, but I like went online.
Oh, let's go on
like,
the tangent, bud.
Yeah, like I went up and I was gonna report it. You know, like this thing's not here. Like I definitely don't have this. On the USPS website and filed a claim and everything, but the website like wasn't working, and so I'm just very frustrated.
I'm
Man,
sorry,
I'm
man.
so sorry.
Yeah,
That is a bummer.
Nothing
Come on.
worse than when the post office screws
Yeah, I was
something
like,
up.
I got mine today, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if Wes got those Kurosawa blues he ordered, you know what I mean?
I was supposed to have them, so I don't know what happened.
Those fuckers. There's some, I always just, like, picture, like, someone, like, around, like, the vicinity of me, like, using what I can't find, you know? Just being like, those motherfuckers, they're watching my Kurosawa blues. They knew it was from Criterion, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Like some guy
had
picked
a
up and was
whole
like, "Oh, some
ordeal.
Criterions."
Yeah.
I had a whole ordeal last year when I Arrow released Audition on Blu-ray and like
Yeah,
a nice
Takashi Miike.
on a nice steelbook set that they put out, like a
Nice.
limited steelbook. There was like a Blu-ray and DVD combo, and the DVD wasn't in the regular version. Whatever. Anyway, I ordered it using rewards points, so I basically just had to pay for the shipping. But when they sent it to me, the original copy that they sent never arrived, never showed up. I waited like a little over a month, I think. Contacted
Jeez.
them, and then they sent it to me. They resent it, and then by the time I got that one, they sent me the wrong movie. Even though the package...
Oh, yeah, they sent you the Mutilator,
Yeah, they sent me the
right?
Mutilator.
And then he gave it to me, because he already had
I already had it. I had the US version, so they sent me the UK version. And I was like, well, whoever
frustrating.
has my original Audition, joke's on you, because it's Region B. You know,
Yeah, like, you're not going to be able to
you're
watch
not
this
gonna be able to
thing,
watch
you
this?
fucker. Like,
Son of a bitch. So what was hilarious with the second one, when they sent me the Mutilator, the packing slip still said Audition.
yeah,
It
someone
was
was
like
high.
someone
who
which was not paying
Wow.
attention. So I had to recontact Arrow, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they immediately sent me another one, and I got it, and I was like, this is great, it's wonderful, but it was at least a month and a half for me to get it. Dang overseas.
Bummer.
Oh well,
There's not a way-
mine's
there's
not
no way
even
for them to
overseas.
Yeah, yours isn't
Yeah,
even
so-
overseas. You know,
so
you have
it better, like,
you at
get
least
here
have
soon.
tracking.
Yeah,
You at least have
totally.
tracking. I didn't have tracking, so it was just it was just a crapshoot as to when or if it would show up. You know,
Yeah.
so that's always
Right.
the bummer with doing that.
But
man.
I'll say my prayers tonight before bed, Wes, that soon you'll be watching high-definition Kurosawa films.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was hoping to like watch it too before the cast so I could talk about it, and bummer. But which it's actually a good segue, because the other thing I was getting was I bought the Before trilogy also.
Oh, nice. As
Criterion.
did I.
Yeah, so I was, hoping to get that as well. But before I purchased it, I was able to catch Before Sunrise, which I'd never seen before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was a really good movie. You wouldn't think, like, on paper, you wouldn't think this movie would work. It's just like these two people walk around the city and just talk. That's it.
Yeah.
And it actually just it works. It just completely works. Like, it not at any time was I bored, or
Totally.
it was like looking at the clock, like, when's this thing gonna be over? It was engrossing the whole time. The dialogue was interesting. The acting's great, and I can't wait to like continue the trilogy. I'm real curious, like, what happens, and I love that there's like an actual time jump between the movies and everything. So yeah, Before Sunrise, it's a real good little romantic flick.
It's awesome. I'm a big fan. I still haven't seen the third one, but I've seen the first two, and they're real sturdy gals.
What are the films called?
Yeah.
Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I just got mine just before we started the cast. Gotta crack it open soon. Although I will say, diverting a little bit, how do you feel about that cover art?
The cover art I'm not a fan of at all.
It's no good. Let's just get Scott opinion here.
Yeah, why don't you just...
Yeah, I'm a little unaware of all of this.
Front cover, fair enough.
Front cover, yeah.
Not very inspired, but
Yeah.
like, okay.
It's very Criterion.
Now we move into the individual covers.
Keep in mind, I haven't seen any of these movies.
Hold it up, Zach. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, that's what?
Brutal.
Come on.
Look at this. Look at her face there.
Ah.
These are fucking weird. They're fucking weird paintings that don't look like them. It's like this
And it
one.
seems-
I looked at Before Midnight, and I was like, "Oh, Julie Delpy looks pretty good." And then I looked at Ethan Hawke, and I was like, "Ah, no."
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
before Sunset, her face is terrible. I think her face looks the worst on
it's like
that one.
Criterion. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I don't-
usually
yeah, I
better
don't know.
than
That's-
this. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't like about Criterion is that you don't get the original artwork with any of their movies. Usually, with any of their movies, Rosemary's Baby is an exception.
Yeah. Well, usually though,
Yeah,
the
Rosemary's
cover
Baby's
is just
an
like
exception.
so fucking stellar that like it doesn't matter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like the reverse like slip and
Yeah.
all that stuff is very nice, but like in the Criterion when you open it and there's the printed backs. Like I also got my other pickup was Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. Which
Nice.
amazing cover art. And then like the inside, like that's great.
Oh, yeah, that's
you know?
cool. Yeah, I agree. Polka dots, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're usually great like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most Criterions are nice like
Yeah.
that.
I will say that the artwork for The Brood is terrible. Like that's probably my least favorite Criterion artwork.
It's no before trilogy.
It's
I'll just say
it's
that.
no, it isn't, but it's a
Yeah.
huge spoiler. It isn't, but it's a huge spoiler.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
like
a
if you
very
haven't
big
seen the
spoiler.
movie, like just looking at the Criterion cover, you're like, oh, know what happens.
Yeah,
You know,
it's,
or
like, well,
it's not
that's coming
it's
around.
not as out of the blue, you know,
Yeah.
which is how that movie should be.
Totally.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just needed to vent a little bit about this this before series. I was so excited for it to come out. It tainted the release a little bit, and then I begrudgingly bought it. I'm like, oh god, I want this, but like the cover, it's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that that's
It's about the content.
You could title your review after Criterion.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so where
All
are we
right.
at here?
Well, I'm all out of films. If you guys want to talk about one or two more.
Do you have any more, Scott?
I'm sure I'm blanking on stuff. I have a new roommate who's been with me for a couple months. So I've been showing him periodically. I'll show him some movies he hasn't seen before. That maybe I've seen more of it, but we watched. I showed him the Scream Factory Blue of Session 9. He hadn't seen that one before. He loved that movie. I love that movie. It was great to revisit it.
Yeah, that movie's fun. Have
yeah.
you seen that, Wes? Session 9?
What's that?
Session 9. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
It's solid. It's
It's
good.
the director of The Machinist.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the same director of The Machinist.
Oh, really?
2001. It's basically the whole
David Caruso.
Yeah, David Caruso right
Nice,
before
David
Oh,
Caruso.
nice.
right before he got on CSI Miami. Right before he went into that role, I guess he was kind of hurt. He was kind of hurting, and he got, you know, they talked him into doing this like low budget horror movie. But basically the whole plot of the movie is that you got this asbestos removal crew cleaning out the Danvers State Mental Hospital buildings out in what is it, Baltimore, somewhere on the East Coast, before they tear the buildings down to make way for hotels and condos, whoever, which is actually what happened, or I think is what happened in real life. Right after within a few years after they filmed the movie. But yeah, basically it's very, if you like The Shining, it's like, you know, you like movies about like haunted, creepy locations.
Well,
Perfect.
The Shining is
Basically,
like
they
one of
start-
my favorite movies. So
Yeah, it's I compared to The Shining that like the Overlook Hotel is as much of a character as the asylum in Session 9.
right.
Just it's like it's that movie is a location scout's wet dream, because you can tell they showed up and like, all right, everything's perfect, let's just shoot as is, because it's a decrepit, you know, place they were filming in that was filled with asbestos, and they did have to use masks and stuff. But yeah, it's super creepy. It's got amazing sound design. The acting is it's good. The acting's good. There's a few parts where maybe might be on the verge of a little weak. I'm maybe a little more forgiving than most people, I think. But it's just overall it's good. It's good. Just study it. They basically go crazy. Yeah, that's kind of the plot. As they start working, weird stuff starts happening. People start losing it, and yeah, it's awesome. Like there's not enough good things I can have to say about Session 9, just from like, that indie horror movies you may or may not have heard of, kind of may or may not have seen, because when it came out, it just kind of came out. Like, I don't know why the studio, whoever it was that bought it, or I don't know if it was one of those things where they made the film and then as they were about to finish it, something happened with, the studio that was going to put it out, and so it got a super limited release, and then kind of just went straight to DVD or whatever, and then people just kind of gradually rediscovered it, kind of a thing. I'm not really sure what went into why it kind of had a botched release, But it's good. It's got some really good moments, and I think it holds up well too. I'd say it was, like I said, 2001, 2017, still holds up, because it's a very much a less is more movie, and just the sound design. Like when they start playing the movie's called Session 9 because one of the guys finds all these session tapes these audio tapes of like a therapist engaging, again, back to multiple personality syndrome or whatever, split personality. He finds all these sessions where he as a doctor talking to somebody who has that, and it's just great. It's great. I don't know. I've said enough. I'm going in circles now. Anyway, yeah, it
sounds
cool.
interesting though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it. I'm ripe for a rewatch on that one. I probably haven't seen it since like high school. I definitely remember liking it.
I've been wanting to check out more of what that director's done, because from what I've seen of his, everything I like. Mm-hmm. He did The Machinist. I know he did a Masters of Horror episode that was really good.
Oh, okay. What's his name? Do you know?
Brad Anderson, I think is his name. Brad Anderson.
And then
the Scream Factory. Yeah, the Scream Factory had like a 50-minute doc. The Blue had a 50-minute doc that they had just made.
Oh, that's
so that
cool.
was. I actually ended up watching the whole thing like right after we watched the movie. It was really good.
Nice.
Made buying it totally worth it.
Hell yeah.
And then there was an additional like a 20-minute doc. I guess Scream Factory does this where they hire this guy to go around and shoot all these videos about like, this is where they filmed whatever movie, and here's how the location looks now, and he basically talks about how in my whole years of doing this, my favorite location has been when I went to the Danvers State Mental Hospital before they tore it down. It was the creepiest place, and he has all this old VHS footage that he had stored all these years from when he went in the same places, the same rooms, and you can really see like what they set designed, what they didn't.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
There's that hallway shot where there's this hallway shot where there's all these random suits on a wall, like all these rubber suits, or you can see like rubber gloved arms and things like that, and that's still there, and they like no idea what this was for. Damn. It's just here, and it's super
That's
creepy.
crazy.
Like, so you really get to see like how much like they just went into the place and shot it, and now I guess sometime after they filmed the movie there, and then after the town destroyed most of the asylum buildings, they kept the main entryway of the building or something. The main part of the building they kept and restored to some extent. But I guess there was a fire. I read on Wikipedia there was a fire there sometime after, like during the construction. So several of the new buildings that they had erected burnt down, and then the original building, the original asylum building, was untouched. So that just kind of makes it even creepier.
Yeah,
the whole thing like kind of even creepier.
I don't like that one bit.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Not you. Yeah, but I enjoyed it, and I recommend it. If anything I've said sounds interesting, I recommend it.
Nice.
No, that sounds awesome.
Let's see what.
Really interesting. Mm-hmm. So why don't we go ahead and hop into our review for Get Out?
Sure.
You guys ready? All right.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
I ain't never seen you like this before, bruh. Meeting families and taking road trips. Don't come back all bougie, man. Come back, got your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you hug me, my man.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
How bad can it be?
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here. Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here.
That was from the trailer of Get Out, the new film by Jordan Peele, written and directed by him, and it stars Daniel Kaluuya, I think that's how you say his name, Allison Williams, and Bradley Whitford. And a synopsis from IMDb: a young African-American man visits his Caucasian girlfriend's mysterious family estate. And that is about as little detail as a synopsis as you can give.
Yeah, seriously.
Which I think is actually a good thing. I don't want to... I know this. It's going to be hard to talk about this movie without spoiling anything. Mm-hmm. So we can just do generic thoughts on it, and then we'll get right into the spoilers, and then we can talk about whatever we want.
Sure.
So, Zach, you want to start off with your opinion?
Sure. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. Jordan Peele coming out the gate strong with the directorial effort there. Yeah, I don't have too many complaints about it. I have a couple, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun. The payoff is for sure there at the end. Mm-hmm. I felt like, and I felt like it balanced the horror thriller aspect with the comedy pretty well, and especially just in a sense of like, I know I haven't like seen anything that he's directed, but I feel like a lot of modern comedies are like very improv-y, where you can tell that like, where it's not necessarily like great improv either. It's just like they just like let people go crazy and then edit together essentially. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I felt like you could tell that maybe there, or I don't know if there was improv. I'm assuming there probably was, but I felt like it was pretty well executed. And that was a big plus, because I feel like a lot of modern comedy, it just kind of like trails off, and it's like, what is this scene I'm watching? It's just like a bunch of people trying to make jokes.
Every Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah. It's just like...
Yeah,
and like sometimes that's successful and it's funny and like you don't care, and then sometimes that's really detracting from the movie, you know? Mm-hmm. But I thought it worked really well in this case, and I thought all the performances were good, and yeah, just a solid flick.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Scott?
I loved it overall. On initial impression, I would give it right when it finished, I was like 5 out of 5. You know, it was great. Yeah. And then as we're talking about, like, any flaw that is in the movie is so minuscule, in the grand scheme of things. Overall, I think everything works. There's like maybe a performance or two that's like a little much.
I would say Caleb Landry Jones for me was a little hammed up.
Yeah, the brother, right?
Yeah, the brother.
The brother. Yeah,
he
totally
felt like he was
that.
like, oh, I'm totally gonna do like a Brad Pitt thing. You know what I mean, dude?
He was way too much.
He's sitting there like,
making faces and
I thought he was a very sloppy DiCaprio from Django Unchained. You know, like that. That's what he was kind of going for, and it was but drunk, kind of. You know, it was like
he seemed drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely the emphasis on that. And then someone I remember complained about the music to a degree.
Yeah, I said that I felt like I love the main theme, like that's over the opening titles and it comes back at the end, is amazing. And then I felt like they're opening with this such a cool theme that when the rest of the score is kind of just like whatever, it's a little. I was a little disappointed by the score thinking back on it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like in the movie, it was never. I guess it does its job because it's effective and it's not taking you out of the movie and thinking about the score. It's just like supplementing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was surprised by the Childish Gambino track.
Yeah,
in there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, totally. I was into
That was a
it,
nice
though.
surprise.
Yeah, that song's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My thoughts, I really liked it too. I really liked it. I do think I do have a couple problems with it. There's some flaws that I've found. Maybe you guys have the answers, but we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like, yeah, I thought the performances were great. And what kind of like to your point, Zach, of you saying, or there wasn't too much like improvisation. You know, it seemed very focused.
Yeah.
Yet it had a lot of fun with the material as well.
It's like I'm sure that guy who plays the TSA agent like went off on crazy tangents, but like they don't let you feel that when you're watching the movie, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's only like a couple lines. It's not whole scenes of just like ranting.
Yeah,
just like trailing off and
they definitely were reserved. It was reserved in that regard.
Yeah,
you know, it didn't let you know. Here's the improv time.
Yeah,
wink,
exactly.
wink. You know,
Yeah,
didn't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, yeah. I thought the casting was great. I thought Allison Williams as the girlfriend was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she
Yeah,
did a
she
great
was really
job,
good.
and also she seems like she would be that bitch girlfriend that would do that. You know, what I mean? Like she was a good casting, and I thought Daniel Kaluuya he did a great job too. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And what's his name? I'm gonna look him up here. I think it's
Which guy?
The guy in the first scene.
In the what?
The first scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, from Atlanta.
Yeah, from Atlanta.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
is
his name.
awesome. I like
He
that
was
guy
really
a lot.
good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's
he
great
was
on
awesome.
Atlanta too. Have you watched that, Wes?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah, I
finish
love
it?
Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, it was good. I really liked it, and I don't know what else to say without getting into spoilers.
Yeah, without
so.
spoiling anything. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. My two biggest problems, I guess, or I have three problems off the top of my head. Two of which we cover, and the second I can't talk about yet. So.
Is there any you can mention right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Caleb Landry Jones, I thought was a little much, and like,
Right.
I get that the brother was supposed to be a little much. It's just like his performance was a little see through. Like you could tell he was like, I'm gonna perform the shit out of this scene, which is kind of a bummer because I like him.
That was probably the biggest thing that I didn't like about the movie. Honestly, was him.
Yeah, he was just hamming it up a lot.
Hamming it up. It just seemed out of
doing all
place. It was
this
like,
with like the
what are you
hands
doing?
and, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it felt very unnatural and like performance like I'm watching an actor right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
yeah, definitely.
everyone else, I mean, the dad was really good. I thought the dad was awesome.
Yeah, Dad was great.
Catherine Keener,
Yeah,
obviously,
she was
fucking killing it.
she was incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Spot on.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have
right.
anything else non-spoiler, Scott?
Not really. The effects in the movie were really cool and overall reserved and used appropriately. Not over. Nothing in the movie was overdone.
Yeah, nothing
When
gratuitous.
I don't think
Which is great.
I don't think this is spoiling it, but everyone was talking about how. Oh, it's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner meets the Stepford Wives. You know, everyone made that comparison and stuff, and so that kind of set up like a certain mindset of what to expect. And the beginning of the movie kind of made it feel like it was going to go in that direction.
Yeah.
But then it didn't turn out to be kind of like it wasn't the whole suburb is in on it. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's the plot. You know the plot of the movie. If you're listening, you know the plot. You know what the movie's about.
Yeah.
It wasn't on like that Stepford Wives. The movie isn't on that Stepford Wives scale. It's a little more pulled back and believable.
Small scale.
With smaller scale.
Small scale.
That's the way to do stuff. That's the way to do stuff. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it breaks some of the horror movie tropes. Like the first scene. I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler, but basically, if there's a classic horror movie opening where you're introduced to a character and then something creepy is introduced to them, and he just like walks away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's amazing. He's like, not today.
Yeah,
not today.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's
it continues to play with those tropes throughout the whole movie, which I really liked.
Yeah, totally.
I think, and we should go ahead.
I was just gonna say, overall, I would say that I think it was a well done movie that achieved what it wanted and is just like really fun to watch.
Yeah. And it's probably, while we're in non-spoilers, it's an obvious topic we should discuss. What do you think about the whole issues of race and everything? What it's trying to say, and I think I like that it's trying to say something about obvious race issues we have going on right now, and kind of, as a white male, put me into the perspective of what it might be to be an African American male in a room full of white people, and how that might make me uncomfortable.
And it does it super well too.
Yeah.
And it's
so I give the movie credit for that.
Definitely. And it's a thing that like I feel like is missing with a lot of modern horror, and not to say that like every movie needs to make like a grand statement, but I think a lot of the movies that people revere and are trying to rip off currently, you know what I mean? Like people are drawing inspiration from all these older movies, and they were all like framing something, and like not necessarily like with a specific message, but like they all had some societal issue that was kind of the basis for like what was happening. It's like people love George A. Romero, and how many people now are making zombie movies that are shit that say they love George A. Romero, but the thing that makes those movies good is he had something behind each one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had something to say with them.
Yeah, and I think
exactly.
That's a really nice thing for this movie, especially like coming from is it Blumhouse? What's the name of the company?
Yeah, Blumhouse.
Yeah. Especially coming from this company, not to like shit on all the movies they made or anything, but I feel like those movies are very like, let's get asses in seats. It's going to be really scary. Like, it's the weekend, go see a scary movie. You know what I mean? Which is totally fine, but like, the quality was higher than I feel like most of their initial or other efforts as of recent.
Well, actually, Blumhouse they're killing it right now, because they've been just recently been putting out some really low budget movies that are becoming successful.
Yeah.
Get Out, for one, is making so much money compared to its tiny budget.
Yeah.
But like Split was a huge success.
Oh, that's true. I didn't see Split.
They released that. And they released Hush. They released let's see what else. Whiplash, which is kind of older, but so I'm not seeing them all here, but I know that there's a good amount of just like really cheap horror films that they've recently released, and they're just like banking on them. So, maybe it's a good thing to let a director have a vision and create something.
Yeah. Definitely. It's like, I don't know. It's cool. I'm really happy that this movie's doing super well.
Yeah.
Because I hope that that's the goal. It's like, also like, based on this, it's like, want to see more movies directed by Jordan Peele.
Oh, for sure.
But also just the fact that like, first time director, although he does have like an extensive comedy background and everything, like
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't made a serious like thriller horror film before, and it's like letting him do that, and like, and it's a pretty bold movie too. Like it's cool,
but
that
also
it's
showing his comedy roots too.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
Yeah.
naturally.
But yeah, it totally is a very bold direction to go in. I mean, mixing the two in a really good way, you know.
For sure.
Where you get laugh out comedy, but also like tense up horror as well.
There are some great moments, like scare moments in the movie that we can get to later.
When the housemaid like walks behind him like in the back of the house when he's going through the house, that was great. That was a good jump scare.
Yeah, there's some good moments. So let's I think we all agree that we all like the movie. So
I have one
ahead.
more spoiler thing that we can discuss real quick, which doesn't really have to do with the movie, just addressing it while we're having these side tangents about art representing the movie. And what's up with the fucking poster for this thing? It's garbage.
Don't like the poster?
The glass one?
Yeah, it's weird.
The other one is okay, where it's kind of like muted and it has the font, the type from the actual movie on it.
I've only seen the glass one. That's all I've ever seen.
There's another one that I saw that like wasn't the worst, but like wasn't amazing. But damn, I am not a fan of this broken glass poster.
I see one where it's just like the title in blue.
Yeah, that one's okay. It's got like
This
the
one?
weird
Yeah.
like I don't mind that one as much. It's like a teaser poster, whatever. But boy, this fucking broken glass. Jeez. Is this some Paul Walker movie from fucking 2003, guys? Come on.
Right?
Like,
Oh, this one? Oh yeah, that one
it's
is
brutal.
yeah, this is like I've seen that. How many movies of it?
Yeah.
What is it? Is this
Like-
Stir of Echoes or something?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what-
like-
What's really weird about that poster is like the biggest image in the frame is him hugging the dad. You know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very
It's like,
strange.
why?
And it's also
Why?
looks like it's like all of these look like they're BTS photos. Like, when are these stills in the film? They're not. These are all like behind the scenes pictures. And this
That's
fucking
true.
broken glass.
That's not in the movie.
Yeah, this bullshit type. Get this shit out of here. It's garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that poster at all.
Yeah.
That poster's terrible. When I first heard of the movie, I thought that the name was very off. Get Out. I thought the name was very off-putting because it was like could not think of anything else. I mean, once you see it, it's like okay, it works, it makes sense, but
It works.
I've heard that it's also somewhat of like a meta comment of like people like yelling at the screen, you know.
get out of there.
Yeah, I
Get
heard
out!
that too.
Like you watching the movie, just be like, "Go, dude! Like, get out!
Get out! Get out! Go! Go!
You know, which I like totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but if you were just telling somebody about the movie and they never heard of it, and you just told them, "Oh, you gotta go see this movie, Get Out," like kind of eyebrow raise.
Really?
But
I can play
but it
it.
is. It's don't judge a book by its name.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Or its cover, because the cover's garbage.
Yeah, that audition is
Or it's glass shattering cover.
Yeah. All right, just wanted to bring that up real quick. You know, a little something.
Fair point. All right, let's get into the spoilers.
Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose?
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
No. No. No.
A mine is a terrible thing to waste.
For sure.
All right, we're in spoilers.
If you haven't seen the film, don't listen. This is spoilers.
Spoilers. Get away. Get out of this segment.
Get out. It's fun.
So what do you guys think of? Well, first of all, I gotta say the TSA agent reveal was awesome.
So
what a
it's
good
great.
moment in the
So
movie.
good.
Because they totally bait you with the fact that, like, oh my god, he's fucked. This is terrible. You know,
It's the
like-
perfect setup, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like, here's this black guy over this young white woman. There's blood everywhere. There's a car accident, and this cop pulls up, and you're
it
like,
sets up
fuck.
it sets up a Night of the Living Dead ending.
Oh, totally.
Is what it does, and then it just bait and switches you, and it's so good.
And
Because you're expecting that. We're conditioned to expect that ending.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
Exactly.
think I'm really glad they went with that. And it's like, I mean, not to say that it would have been like a terrible ending, but it's just like it's what I would have expected. You know what I mean?
It also made the same point without having to do that.
Exactly.
Because
because it just makes you feel like that's going to happen, and that's enough.
Yeah,
you know?
and that in itself is a Romero statement, commentary, or whatever you want to call it. You know, like that in itself has a statement. You know, and then doing the bait and switch. It's just like, oh wow, I gotta think about myself because you know,
It's actually really good storytelling because that's set up so well. Why it succeeds is because you have that moment in the beginning with the cop, you know, pulling them over.
Totally.
And so that kind of sets up your expectations too. In addition to us being conditioned to think a certain way, you have that too in the story, and so it's just really well done. That reveal, it's great.
And also, it's just like you're rooting for him the whole time. It's just like so satisfying when his friend comes up. You're like, oh fuck yeah, the TSA guy, like it's amazing.
I love when he decides to get out and just start kicking everyone's ass. You know, just like
it's great.
Just no sympathy, just like beats him up and just like fucking gets out of there. You know,
It's another thing too that I think this movie does better than a lot of other modern horror films is that they really earn those kills at the end. Like, they earn them real good.
Oh,
should we hold for that?
It's a siren.
Yeah.
Let's hold.
Car alarm. Oh, there we go.
Car alarm.
Yeah, the kills were really well done, satisfying,
non-gratuitous.
Not too gratuitous.
I mean, there he does like stab him with like a taxidermy deer head, but also like
it's not they don't focus on it like a Saw movie. Oh
and it's
here's
like
this antler and then this antler.
He
and
like
this,
they
right.
stomps someone's head. Does he like kick the brother's head in basically?
Yeah, the brother.
Yeah,
but
that's
like
kind of off screen.
It's framed from like a wide and like you don't see it happening, and it's just like
it's
you get
behind the wall.
Yeah, you get the satisfaction without seeing like his face get.
You get the sound design to work for you for that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like that aspect.
The couple of things I have a problem with are I feel like it sets up some of these rules and it doesn't make sense to me, like the grandparents thing.
Yeah, this was what I was gonna bring up too.
This is my biggest problem with it. Is like, so their grandparents are in these people's bodies, right?
Why are they just making their grandparents do all their shit? You know.
Well, I think the assumption is like when guests are there, then they put on these roles. But then it's like, but there's also the people inside there that are also living in there. But then the grandparents aren't like being themselves at all. I don't know. It was kind of inconsistent. And like the part where it's the grandfather who's the black caretaker, right? The lawn maintenance guy.
Yeah.
He's just like jogging and running right at the main character.
Yeah.
And then like takes off. It's like, that part's creepy, but why? Why is he doing that? Because is he just like going on a jog? Jog, or,
yeah.
Like,
That was the problem.
It just feels like a scare tactic for no reason.
Yeah, because they basically explain like by the end, because we're still in spoiler land, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Their grandfather is in that guy, and the grandmother is in the other woman. Mm-hmm. So your grandparents, I mean, you have them brainwashed to be slaves, basically. I get that. But then you're basically having your grandparents also be slaves simultaneously with them? Like, I don't understand how that makes any sense, let alone...
It's a little strange.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me, really. That, like, we put somebody into the body of this person, and you know, the opening guy is, you know, assume that's the when you see him, you know, how he's brainwashed, it's probably the woman's dead husband or whoever is in his head and whatnot.
Which is a hysterical scene, by the way.
Oh,
just him being like, I found the black experience to be quite positive. Living in this fucking man.
That old man straw hat that he has on, you know, like, so good. But when you think about what the plot, once they explain that, you're like, that doesn't really make any. Why would you make your grandparents be slaves? Basically, I mean, it's kind of like I'm just trying to understand like how the brainwash brain fusion thing really works or whatever, because like do they take turns, you know, or like what? I don't know. It just I'm just a little lost at the reason.
Is it like a constant battle with the other consciousness, you know, of the original person? Like, are they constantly battling, or is it like one's just like always suppressed? But then which is also a great scene with the maid lady.
Yeah, where she's like crying.
That close up on her face where she's like crying and also laughing. Like, what a good performance! Like, that is so hard to do.
Yeah.
You know, like
she was really
that
good.
acting right there. So that was impressive. But yeah, I just feel like that was a little. Like,
especially with you said, like once they explain everything, it's like, well, why did the groundskeeper grandfather charge at him and then dart away?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I will say, I love that scene though. It was so fucking creepy. It's
really
amazing.
Good. Yeah, it's
like,
really good.
That's
why it gets a pass. That's why I can forgive the small flaws, because everything just works so well. You know.
And then him like turning around and she's staring at him through the window, and then it cuts and she's like looking at her hair or whatever.
Yeah.
Reflection. And it's just like, ooh, loving that scene. That was
It's
one of
really
my favorite
creepy.
scenes in the movie. Just the image of him running, because you like don't see him at first. He's obscure in the distance, and like that was great.
He's going at full speed straight at him,
and he just says like, doesn't he just say like, I was on like my evening jog. Sorry if I startled
my
you.
evening exercises or something like that.
It's like, oh yeah, that's your evening exercises, bud. You fucking freak. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Right.
What I really liked about that was that was right after the brainwashing, you know, the spoon, you know, where he first went under hypnosis or whatever.
Wait, wasn't that before?
No, yeah, it's right before.
No, I mean that scene. No, I'm saying that scene was right after it. Yeah, that was right after the brainwashing.
Oh, okay.
So, any other movie would probably have you like guess like, did that really happen? Like, like for a very long time, and then pretty much like following day, like the grandfather groundskeeper like immediately confirms, nope, that did happen.
Yeah, like all that shit happened.
All that shit happened.
All that happened. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I thought it was really cool too with the whole idea of the hypnosis and her using that one, the teacup as the thing that triggers it, you know.
For sure.
And I like the visual of him like falling down into this like extra dimensional space, you know, kind of looking up. I thought that was really cool.
And I really liked how they just kept his vision just like a square in the distance.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. It had that whole part of it was like very like kind of almost Twilight Zone-esque, you know.
Sure.
It was really cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
One part that realistically doesn't make any sense, but was like, oh shit, when it happened, was when he finds the pictures of like Allison Williams' other like people. For one, why would she keep a stack of her former lovers in a convenient place? Yeah, a lit closet is conveniently placed for him to find. But also, it's like, oh man, like it's a really good moment. Like,
yeah, totally.
When you see that,
some of those pictures were funny too.
Yeah, and at the end of the movie, when she's like having the cereal and the milk separately, aren't those pictures up on the wall behind her?
Yeah, there was some up on the wall.
Yeah,
which was which was kind of weird, but also like I
very trophy-esque.
Yeah,
yeah.
That scene was so outrageous. It was funny. I was into it.
Kind of like a serial killer keeping like little mementos of her killers.
But also just the
victims.
the individual Fruit Loops and the Dirty Dancing song and like
So
outrageous. Drinking milk
that
with
scene was
straws
outrageous.
is like so funny.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's like you can tell that there's clearly a lot of care put into it and they're taking it very seriously, but they're also like having a lot of fun with the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Which is good. It's a nice balance.
Yeah. It really is effectively creepy. Like, when you think about it, the movie kind of... It's slow at times. There's a couple moments where it kind of is just kind of lagging along and kind of pulling you along on this suspension. But I didn't mind it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it lulled, but it wasn't, like, overbearing. And then things, like, kick into high gear.
For sure.
When he's like held in that basement, which was really cool when he uses that cotton from the chair and puts it in his ears. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was good. I really liked him breaking out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the performance of that main actor is great.
Yeah, I was thinking after the movie, I was like, Eli Roth could have learned a thing or two from.
Oh
this,
yeah, yeah.
You know,
actually, like developing characters.
Yeah, actually bothering to develop characters.
Yeah.
So that the payoff actually works.
I was trying to remember where I saw him before. He was in Sicario.
Yeah, which I did not realize until I heard about.
Yeah.
Because just the age difference, he seems so much older in Sicario and so much younger in this, but like it makes sense, I guess. Like,
he's good in that too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's a solid flick.
That, I think probably one of the biggest parts where I was like kind of gripping, like my white knuckled was where he's like, "Give me the keys." Give me the keys.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of closing in, and she's just like trying to fumble through the purse, and it's just that it's done so well. It's executed so well, like cutting close to the purse, fumbling, and then cutting, and then you see the father like step in and like looking into the fireplace.
And you're just like, oh shit, it's happening. Like it's
like,
going down.
Dude,
get out.
get the fuck out of there now.
Were people like cheering in your theater?
Yeah, people were getting real into it.
Yeah, people were cheering in ours too. Like at the end and stuff. The airport door got a huge reaction, and like all the kills, everyone was like, yeah, just like cheering real big. It was fun. It was just like, usually it's like, hey, quiet back there. But like I feel like in this movie, you're like, fuck yeah, kill that guy. You know, like it's just like it's a lot of fun. It was cool to have everyone like super into it.
One thing about my personal experience of viewing it was there were these really obnoxious, a group of like pompous white people next to me. It was like this like really like douchey white dude and his girlfriend right next to me, and they were just like like interacting with the movie the whole time and being like, oh, I did not see that coming at all. Oh, that was so crazy. It's like, all right, shut up.
Yeah.
My God.
It's like, all right, clap, go, whoa. There you go.
Like, yeah. Like, react. I was like, whoa, or like cheering at parts, but he like narrated the entire film. I wanted to like
the worst thing.
Throw a fucking popcorn at him.
Yeah. The worst thing ever is someone who, a movie watcher who I see this all the time, who just makes it their goal to let everyone in the theater know that they're loving this movie. You know what I mean? I see it most. It's usually a lot at like screenings of old movies. I see it all the time, or like screenings like where the director's there. You know, just people be like, "Ah, yeah, oh my god, this is great!" Just like making it known to everyone in the theater. It's like, I'm the biggest fan of this. You know, that it's just such a fucking nightmare. Like
my big instance of that was when I went to the Music Box to see The Room. And I mean, it's The Room. It's like it's like it's also the Music Box is that and Rocky Horror, and people go crazy with them and dress up and do whatever. I get it. But when I saw it, the guy who was hosting the room pretty much. He dressed up as Tommy Wiseau. He introduced the movie, and then he sat the row right behind me and kept cracking jokes the whole time. I'm like, shut up! I can't hear the shitty dialogue that I'm supposed to laugh at. 90% of your jokes are not funny. Yeah. Stop trying so hard.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. I'm usually all for commentary towards the movie. Usually, but take it back.
There's a limit, you know. You don't cross the line, and it was kind of annoying because on the other side of me, I had a group of black people who responded nicely to the movie and everything, but like I'm just like I'm not a part of these white people, you know. Like it was kind of an awkward situation because of the context of the movie too, you know. But these people were just being really obnoxious. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
People suck, you know.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know what else I got.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't have many qualms. Stephen Root was pretty good. I did think the scene of him explaining on the TV was a little weird. It's just like the concept of it's fine. It's just like, okay, yeah, he's coming on explaining a bunch of shit. Fair enough. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, just the grandparents thing. Caleb Landry Jones. Score. Minute complaint. Small complaint for the score.
Yeah, you know, I honestly can't even remember the score. I remember liking the theme and then the Childish Gambino song, but I don't remember anything else about it.
Honestly, it's just like the opening theme was super cool. The fact that they didn't carry that theme through the movie is like baffling. You know what I mean? It's like also it's theme. Like I get holding your cards. You know what I mean? It's like only bust it out when you need to, but like. Also, it's like you could do like little variations on that. You can get some more chanting. The chanting was awesome. I really like the chanting a lot.
Always go with the chanting.
Yeah, the chanting's sweet. Like get that chanting under him running towards the camera. Come on, get that in there.
Come on.
Or I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it again and actually the score's incredible the whole time. They do exactly what I just said, but I felt like it dropped off a little bit.
I saw someone on my Facebook feed the other day where they were talking about doing household chores while the Get Out soundtrack was playing or something. While they had it playing, or I guess
it's a intense session of chores. Creepily doing dishes, like.
All right, well, I think that'll wrap it up. I don't know what else to say.
You got anything else, Scott?
Get out and see Get Out.
Yeah, get out and see Get Out.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I honestly rarely go to the movie theaters, and this year I've gone more than I usually have already. So, I thought my money was well spent.
Yeah.
So I'm
balanced out that Cure for Wellness.
It totally balanced out the Cure for Wellness.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to touch on Cure for Wellness one more time, if I may. The one thing. The main thing, and this is let's go into spoiler territory. I think this is appropriate. I won't go too heavy into spoiler territory.
Yeah, don't spoil too much for me because
I'm not gonna ruin it. But I'm saying the main point when I officially was done with the movie. You know, it doesn't happen where it's like a deciding factor is done with the movie, but basically the main character, whatever his name is, the main character. He basically does his final. I'm not going crazy. I'm gonna see what's going on, and he busts into this one place, and it's like it's basically the secret lair that he busts into, and it's just getting into that secret lair is way too easy.
It's a door with like one lock.
It's a door with one lock, and he busts it open with a shovel.
She's like, that's where all the secrets lie?
That's where all the secrets lie?
A door with one lock?
That's where all the secrets lie?
This whole time?
This whole time.
That casually gets opened, and he sees it casually get open, like, throughout the movie. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, that's where you're hiding.
That's where you're hiding. The main villain had 200 years to prevent this from happening easily. Get a new door or whatever, and you just did. I don't know.
It's a stretch for sure.
Yeah, it was just. Oh, are you kidding me? Like I just hit my head at that point. I was like, you lost me with that one dumb thing. Like I just couldn't buy it anymore after that. So
I'm selling my Cure for Wellness.
Cure for Wellness. Careful Wellness has good aspects, but just enough problems to bog it down. And it's like one of those pre-Edgar, not Edgar Wright, but pre-Wright brothers planes that just doesn't work.
Yeah, pre-Edgar Wright planes. All right, well, back to Get Out. Wes, what are you giving it, bud?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. What about you, Scotty?
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Nice. My initial feeling was a 5, but 5 once upon immediately seeing it. But 5 is reserved for masterpieces.
Yeah, for sure.
Not, I feel 5 is a full 5 is a little is a premature rating. So 4.5 I think is where it belongs for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a tough time. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. Just because it was a similar thing where I left and I was like, probably 4.5. And then I thought about it and there were a couple things. And I was like, okay, 4. Mm-hmm. But I would say very, very, very heavy 4.
Mm-hmm.
Light
well-deserved 4.
I could give it a light 4.5,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But going with the heavy 4.
Yeah. Ultimately, for me, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very entertaining and really well done. But there was just a couple of things that, about mainly the grandparents and the brother's performance that kind of teetered it off a little bit for me. But that doesn't mean I absolutely didn't love it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Give that guy more money to make a bunch more shit.
I can't wait to see what Peele does next. I don't care if it's a horror movie or not. I don't care if it's something completely different. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really glad that he's had so much success with Get Out, especially because did it come out in January or did it come out in February?
I think it came out in February. It came out like 2 weeks ago.
All right. Well, I mean,
we saw it pretty close after when it came out.
Okay. Well, regardless, this is the time of year usually when bad movies came out.
It's just about
or the movies that the studios were like, this isn't gonna do too well. Let's slide it in here. And so I think this was a pleasant surprise for everyone. Involved,
I mean, The Great Wall is out now, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a graveyard right now in the movie season.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, come on, yeah. This movie was made for under $10 million, and it's already grossed almost $50 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's incredible.
That's perfect.
Fuck yeah.
That's a very successful movie, and it just came out, only a couple weeks ago. So, hey, I think it's definitely going to give Jordan Peele a lot more opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
I'm
excited to see what he does next.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode. So if you like what you hear and you've made it this far through our podcast, you can always find all of our episodes on iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at LTURAM podcast, and you can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com. In the meantime, Scott, where can we find more of you on the internet?
Not much actually. I don't have.
Scott's off the grid.
I'm off the grid. Yeah.
Okay. He can't be found.
What if someone wants some premium sound recorded, Scott?
Oh yeah, if you have I'm a sound mixer. If you want anything to sound good, I don't know, just hit me up at ScottPalmerSound.
He's a premium sound mixer over here.
I help other people's content rather than create my own usually. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's good having you on, Scott. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, cool. Yeah, thanks for having me on here. This was great.
Yeah, it's a great time. We'll have to have you back again some other time. And that'll wrap it up. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah, good talking. Till next time.